Merry Christmas, everybody. All right. It's Double Deuce back. Today, celebrating Christmas Eve, and I wanted to thank all my subscribers, all my fans out there who have supported me. Um, I can't say enough good about that. You guys have kept me going through my ups and downs, and I hope to be there for you too. So, today's episode, I got a couple of things I wanted to show you guys on maybe dressing up your stuff. You can see we got the little RC Christmas tree going on over here. And I hope that maybe there's a RC or an RC part under your tree too. So stay tuned and here we go. So today I wanted to go over just a couple of little things here to help you guys out with your RC dress up. For like making exhaust systems and, like covering your fuel tube lines up if you want to do that, protecting your exhaust system from, shielding it from the heat and all that stuff. Being I'm a hot rod guy, I like cars and all that stuff, so I have incorporated the car world into my RC car world. So let's say, first let's start off with the radiators, okay? We know that the radiators on these engines that we buy have two different size tubes. We got the small here for this, and then there's a little bigger one on the radiator itself. So if you grab a spark plug wire, whether it be new, used, abused, or whatever, you can buy these spark plug wire kits online. It's dirt cheap, like 20 bucks. You make your own spark plug wires. Well, I buy them just for the boots. A lot of times they will sell you just the boot. So if you cut this boot off, like there, you see there's a step now, small to a larger size for your spark plug wire. Now you can cut it off, and this is your step that will go over your radiator, and this here you can put your tube in, the smaller tube for your that comes out of your engine block into here. And like I said before, if you put a small piece of brake tubing or say any kind of brass tubing, if you slide it in there, slide this in here like so, and they do sell clamps that you can clamp stuff. If not, you can use a zip tie. I use tons of zip ties in my projects because a lot of it's temporary. For those of you who like to build stuff, okay, these are 3mm stainless nuts, the lock nuts. I buy these 50 and 100 at a time. You can buy these for about $7 to $10 online on eBay. Just search 3mm stainless lock nut, and you'll have 1,500 different companies come up. So I like buying these things in bulk. I buy washers. You can actually buy the your Allen head screws and different sides and everything. You get them by a bag, instead of buying the small little containers of them and paying $30 for a container and then running out. You'll have plenty extra. So now for the fuel, say your fuel tubing here, like on my L400 here. Okay, it looks cool, but you can also buy a kit like this, okay, from Summit Racing, anywhere, eBay, Amazon. It's just a braided hose cover kit, it's flex braid kit is what it is. This is a Mr. Gasket one. It comes with all different sizes. It's stainless braided. Now, and it comes with, different fittings and stuff, but if you want to use, this stuff, when you cut it, it splinters on the ends really bad. So you'll see right there, they stuck a straw in it, put a piece of tape on it to keep it together. So what you do is figure out where you want to cut it at, slide a piece of heat shrink tube over it, and then do your cut. Okay, now you can slide your your tubing in first and all that, and then just warm up your heat shrink tubing, and it'll grip this nice and tight, look nice and neat on the end. And you can use this for crazy looking high-tech fuel lines. It comes like I say, in the different bigger sizes, you know. If you want to run like an exhaust system, you want to cover it. This right here to give it some shielding so it doesn't start melting, say, your servo wires or whatever else. And if you can find a use for these ends, that's cool too, because these are made for a small little clamp to put in there and tighten it up, and then, you know, these slide over. So you hide the clamp screw on the bottom, and, you know, then you got your nice little end. And I believe these come in different colors too. So that's a thought. And you say they come in, you know, big enough to put over a radiator hose on a car if you want. So, you know, 4 different sizes. I think these are like 30 bucks or something for this kit. You know, that's for the dress up if you want to dress something up. Now, a lot of people have asked me, hey, you know, where do you get your crazy looking aluminum exhaust systems at? Well, this is what I do, okay? I will get online. I've tried to buy this tubing separately, and they get like 10, 12 bucks for a piece of tubing, okay? When you can buy a wind chime. This is, you see there's a little hole in there, okay? I would, there was a store up here called the Christmas Tree Shop I used to get drug into all the time when I was married, and bought endless stuff that's worth nothing. And I still have a lot of it downstairs, so I seen the wind chimes, nice aluminum. They got brass, they got aluminum, and the wind chimes are like $2, $3 sometimes, you know, if you buy them cheap enough. You can search online to see if you can buy some cheap wind chimes. And what I do is I take the tubing and I make my exhaust pipe out of it, or nice exhaust ends. You can cut it, file it, polish it, and you can do what you want. See, this piece here was something that I was experimenting with, trying to bend it. You can't really bend it very well. Unless you know, come up with a bender and put sand in it or something to give it a nice bend. But for straight pieces of pipe, this works great, and it's pennies on the dollar, you know. And with the wind chime, you probably get like 6, 7 different sizes, which is cool, instead of just 10, 12 bucks for one piece, you know. And those little things over the years I figured out, you know, that help out dressing my kits up and all that. So there's probably another million other things out there you can use. For example, you know, for something cheap and doesn't look that great, you can go to a Home Depot store if you want to make a Y system for your B5 buggy or something. You buy one of these. I inserted this in. I put 2 mufflers on the end of it, and I had dual exhaust. Real simple, and there's not a lot of drama. And these are like $2, $3 a piece, you know. All this little stuff like that you can do, that you don't have to go to your hobby store for. You can go to your local, you know, Home Depot or Lowe's or whatever, you know, or your housing stores or hardware stores. They have a lot of that stuff in stock. So, but anyway, like I say, this here ran. Which is a cool thing. So, you know, I got one runs one way, and they run like this. So all the inertia is to the center and down, and it don't have the torque twist of a regular V8. Now, one thing that was brought to my attention, which I kind of knew about already, and you'll see there's plastic gears on here. And I had said that I had ordered metal gears in my other video, and I did. But I wanted to make sure that it would work with the plastic gears first, because I wanted to see if there's going to be any gear drag here. Because your nitro motors don't fire like perfectly every time like a spark plug. Okay, when it comes up, whenever it reaches that static pressure for the combustion, that's when it happens. So, you know, out of 4 cylinders, you know, they're all going to be firing at like fractions of a second within, you know, a given time frame. So when it does that, it kind of like chatters these gears back and forth, and when it does, it drags one and the other one's speeding it up, and it's pulling that one, and they're fighting back and forth. My thought was to do a cogged belt like the timing belt on here to cushion some of the blow. Another thing you can do when you're mounting 2 engines together like this, you can just run 2 separate clutches. Okay, I could put a clutch here to this gear, And I said I could also put a clutch here to this gear, so that, you know, when you rev it up enough, the clutch will go. But the thing is, it's going to be firing on their own. They're not firing in time, and I wanted them to fire in time. This here was a like a furl nut that I had that kept flying off. So you see, I pinched the end of it and just kind of like cranked it on there tight so I wouldn't take my eye out. But this was all hacked together. Really, no machine work whatsoever, other than a hand grinder and a cutoff wheel is what I made this with, and a welder. So it's basically, you can see, I used the stock pan on it. This is just some scrap aluminum. I made this out of sheet metal, the lower cover, and it's hollow, and it makes a lot of noise. So that would be better to be aluminum. And then here, I just took a piece of angle iron steel and cut it off the size of the block and drilled some holes in it for the oil pan, which I went over in my other video there. And something simple to mount these two together to make one. Now, on the shaft itself, I do have a hardened shaft for this thing. You see there's just a couple of collar nuts on here. And I just did that to try it out. Now, I can put a bigger clutch on here. I can put like a B5 style clutch. And all this out of the way so I don't smash it because my wire's a little short. So, that right there, I got a bigger clutch that's going to grab at 8,000 RPMs or lower, 7,000, you know, depends on what you buy. And the shaft is big enough where it ain't going to be straining. If I were to put one of them B5 clutches on the back of this here, it wouldn't have enough power to turn it over because it's been tried before on YouTube, and there's just not enough power to turn those clutches, and not enough RPM to set the shoes out. So this way here, the nice thing about my setup is I can underdrive it or overdrive it, okay? Now, I have a 47 tooth gear on the bottom, all right? And I think it's a 42 on the top. So, now this is going to bring up more power. But if I want to bring up more speed so I can use the clutch, I can actually put a smaller gear down here and a bigger gear up here. So now, when it's running, the RPM of the shaft is going to be a lot higher, which is going to help the clutch engage more. So, you know, basically I got a couple of clutches. I just got to tap them to fit the shaft here and go from there. But this is all a thrown together experiment. This here I just welded a piece of steel on here and just made my you know, my throttle just to try it out, you know. You know, the mind's endless when you think about stuff. Something simple. Now, I did this with no machine work whatsoever. Like I said, it was just common body shop air tools is what it was. You can still do it yourself, you know, at home in your garage, basement, whatever. Just be careful doing it. And like I say, I highly suggest, if you got an idea and you had, try it. You never know. I mean, like I say, you know, the mind's endless, and it's you know, the sky's the limit when it comes up to ideas. So, you know, I wanted a V8. Okay, now Toyan's had a V8 listed on their to-do list for a year or so now, and all of a sudden now Sterling Kit, I see, has they've been blowing up YouTube over the last couple of days right after I put this video up of their V8. Now there is a V8 video on there of the Conley Aussie V8 in a four-wheel drive frame like I was building there before. It looks pretty cool. And then they come up with an animated V8. So I don't know what the CCs are. I don't know how big it's going to be. They just show the internal workings of the crankshaft and the rods and pistons, and so it's still in the thought process on the computer. It's not made yet. I wanted one, I made it. So yeah, there could be some drawbacks with it or whatever, but at least I took the initiative to throw it out there, to try it, to get it done, and show everybody out there that you can do it. So everybody's coming, no, the crankshafts might break. Yeah, they may. You know, everything's an experiment, you know. Now, with my thicker head gasket, I've not broken a crankshaft yet. So that tells me that this thing was either hydro-locking when it was running, or the static compression on it was just too high and it was shocking the crankshaft with no center bearing in it. Now, these don't have center bearings in them. I made them, but I haven't installed them yet because I want to try the head gasket. If the head gasket works, that's something you can do at home. Very simple. Make your own little thicker head gasket, 30 thousandths, and just put it in there and tighten it back down, and and you'll get a lot longer run life out of your L400. So, like I say, there's a lot of things you can do, and I'm out here doing the experiments, so you don't have to. Not that I got endless amounts of money. Believe me, I don't. My YouTube revenue was in the toilet, you know what I mean? So, and I'm not the kind of guy that's like, hey, throw money at me and all this stuff, because the hobby's not, in my opinion, it's about sharing ideas together, and it's not me reaching into your pocket because I made something cool like a lot of these companies do, and that's where the world's going right now. YouTube's got a new subscribe thing now, which is like, you can pay to play or whatever, and it's, I don't know. It just, money ruins everything. You know what I'm saying? But, so these are, like, what were they, $7.99 a piece, okay? So that's $1,600 that I spent for an experiment, but I can always take it apart if it don't work and put it back into something else. You know what I mean? If you want the V4 that Toyan sells, it is $14.99. You know what I mean, for a V4. I have one. It's cool. I like them. And I was going to put two of those together, but that was just too easy. And one of the administrators at Sterling Kit on Facebook had mentioned a lot of people do put two of the V4s together, and they were really kind of blown away by me using the L400s separately. But I have a lot of faith in these engines. I mean, there's a couple of quirks in them. There's some drawbacks, but like I say, it's the early dawning time of these 4-cycle engines. They've only been out a few years, so they're going to have problems. And hey, if I can help fix the problems, or if I can help one of you, owners out there that bought one, like say the crankshafts are breaking, the head gasket, I mean, I'm trying what I can do on my end to help you out there too, because this is what the hobby's about. It's about sharing things. And so, a lot of people out there, they like, breaking my balls over what I build. Oh, it's slow, it's this and that. I mean, I got a couple of, trolls out there that follow me around and throw the comments out there. And I mean, hey, everybody's entitled to their opinion. I respect it, and I leave them out there for everybody to see and enjoy, because it shows you what kind of people are out there. When you look at a troll that has a crappy comment about something that you had built, you look at see what they built and they have nothing. You know what I mean? So that tells me right there that, they're in the loser category. So I kind of feel sorry for them, And, but anyway, like I say, if you want, try your dress-up kit, buy your wind chime for your exhaust. The spark plug boot works good for your radiators, and I want you guys to have a great Christmas, because like I say, I got a few things here that I kind of set up here as a little Christmassy thing for you guys to see, and so I'll be back with some more content, and I'll be back with some more running videos of this, because we got dumped on today with some snow, so it kind of like scared everybody, because we got a whole inch of snow, and it totally crippled half this state, if you can imagine that. So anyway, like, share, subscribe if you want. Merry Christmas, everybody. Have a good one. Later.